Hi, and welcome to another episode of CEI in the News. Today is March 12th, 2010, and I'm your host, Greg Conco.
And I'm Nicole Chandella with a brief summary of some of CEI's recent appearances in the media.
New media company Google's been making headlines recently as its growing position in everything from phones, e-readers, and even television programming has drawn the attention of antitrust enforcers at home and abroad. Our very own Wayne Cruz defended Google and other innovators in a Wall Street Journal Europe op-ed last week with Alberto Mingardi. They point out the irony of European competition authorities hobbling Google for being too innovative and entering too many markets. But isn't that the whole point of competition? Wayne and Alberto say we should encourage firms to develop new products and markets, not hinder them. But it seems competition policy in Europe is more about protecting yesterday's businesses than today's consumers.
This just in. We're going live now to Al Canada with some breaking news at the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Al?
Thanks, Nicole. CEI has just announced that Alex Kaczynski, Chief Justice for the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, will be the keynote speaker for its annual dinner on June 17th in Washington, D.C. Go to CEI's website for more details. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Al. That's great news. In other news, CEI's Chris Horner had a busy week. He was quoted in the LA Times on ClimateGate, and he wrote an op-ed for the Washington Times on President Obama's energy policies. Chris was also on Fox News on March 9th, debating the IMF's proposed global warming fund. Here's a clip.
It's bad enough, though, when you add the green patina to subsidize inefficient energy technologies, that you pretend you can run a modern economy on windmills and pixie dust. But when you do this when it comes to people who desperately need access to energy that works, it borders on the criminal.
Pretty sure windmills and pixie dust were also the energy sources for Never Never Land. Definitely renewable, but I think you have to keep clapping or the lights go out and Tinkerbell dies.
William Yeatman and Marlo Lewis have also been writing about energy policy this week. Marlo is with us now to discuss some recent blog posts on the EPA's endangerment finding. Marlo, you claim the finding threatens both the economy and consumer choice. Can you explain how?
Well, it triggers a regulatory cascade through several different provisions of the Clean Air Act. EPA could end up administering a regime more costly and intrusive than any cap-and-trade bill Congress has considered.
And what's your recommendation?
Senator Lisa Murkowski has a good proposal to veto the endangerment finding. This would ensure that climate and energy policy are made by the people's elected representatives, not by unaccountable bureaucrats, trial lawyers, and activist judges.
Thanks, Marlo.
Thank you, Greg.
On other fronts, CEI's Mark Scribner had an op-ed in the Detroit News on March 3rd, condemning eminent domain abuses. Jonathan Moore wrote an article for the American Spectator on Congress's attempt to override a Supreme Court decision that permits certain resale price maintenance practices. And Alex Nowrasteh had a piece on Fox Forum this week, criticizing a proposed biometric national ID program. Our correspondent William Yeatman is with Alex now to talk about the issue. Will?
It sounds like something out of George Orwell's 1984. The Senate is currently considering a biometric national identification card to cut down on illegal immigration. Here with me today is Alex Nowrasteh, immigration expert. Tell me, Alex, what do you think about this national ID card?
Not only is it an unwarranted infringement on our freedoms, Will, but it will not even cut down on the illegal immigration problem. The biggest problem with it is that it will deny ordinary Americans the right to work through database errors, and that in and of itself is inexcusable.
All pain, no gain. That's scary stuff. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Will.
That's about it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Please subscribe to our channel, and remember, all the links to our stories are found in the box to the right of the screen.
This week's CEI in the News was brought to you by Red Hot Lies and The Frankenfood Myth, both available on Amazon.com.